Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. We are on a very windy day on Plumera, and we had a very exciting development that just happened. We had a visitor at the campsite, and I don't often get visitors. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Guess who was there? Frida. Frida was there, the hamburger hot dog sheep. And I got so excited and I asked her to move on to Plumera. So Frida just became the newest resident of Plumera. And we are bidding a farewell to Miss Patty, but it is time for Patty to move on. So we very much will love Patty and always hold her very near and dear to our hearts. What are we doing today? Today we're doing something a little different. It's been a whole year since we've started playing Animal Crossing, or at least me. I've always been a huge Animal Crossing fan. I just wanted to look back on all of the fun that we had, ooh, my bottle, over the years. So today, instead of building or moving things around or going on a hunt, today I thought I would look back through all my pictures. So we're going to jump out of Island Life and we're going to jump into my pictures. And this is where we started. Here's where we began. Here is our sweet little lady setting up her tent, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited to go through these pictures. This is going to be a lot of fun. I started collecting all of the bugs and fish that I could, not only to start stocking up my museum that I'm sure was on the way, but also to make some bells. So here I have all of my fish and bugs stockpiling outside of my house, and I still stockpile. So I must have just started shaking trees, and I got stung by a wasp. I caught a football fish, and that's super exciting. I'm sure that when I pulled this little guy out of the water, I was thinking about my museum. I was thinking, how much could this be worth? And I would have been really excited at this point. Ooh, catching the oarfish. This must have been all in the same time, or I just got another wasp sting. So it's very likely that that's also what happened. Wow, I'm really like into the catching the fish again. This is probably the same. Yeah, this is probably the same night. The opening of the museum. How fun is that? I got my house. This is when I got my first house and I just started putting random furniture that I had in there. I think I was going for like this purple and like light maple colored wood themed in there. And I think I also was trying to go for this like spa kind of vibe by putting the diffuser in there. And I just remember being super proud of the way my house looked. Oh, here's another shot of the house. Again, I'm just kind of obviously putting just random furniture in here, but it's super cute. I kept that little purple couch or bed. I guess it's a bed. I was pretending it was like one of those 90s blow up couches. I kept that for the longest time just because I thought this looked super cute and just very like my first apartment kind of look, or, my first dormitory. I didn't realize that I had that little horse for so long as well. So, like, that's kind of cool to see that I've had him for a very long time. Ah, yes. This picture was one of my passport pictures for the longest time. I was trying to recreate that meme. I looked so cute. I remember getting that hat and being very excited about it. Ah, tarantulas. This was when I figured out how to make the circle of protection while I was tarantula hunting. And this was before the algorithm got fixed. And so you could literally just go to a mystery island and set up shop and fill your pockets with tarantulas. This was a proud moment. This was when I discovered my secret beach and I thought that I was super special. I don't know. I'd been playing for a few weeks and stumbled upon my secret beach, and I climbed down and I was amazed that I could go here. And then little did I know that eventually this would be where our cousin Red would show up every once in a while with art and counterfeit art. This was when I found Judy. So Judy is one of my original villagers. She probably is the first villager that I got that wasn't to progress in the game. And back then, I didn't realize that you could buy multiple Nook Mile tickets and go to multiple islands. So many of my original villagers are from just one Nook Mile ticket. This was an exciting day. This was the day that I discovered Tarantula Island for the very first time, and I remember being so overwhelmed, and I know that there are a few of my villager hunt videos that I end up here, and it's always a surprise, and it's a pleasant surprise, right? Because I get to fill my pockets with very lucrative tarantulas, but it's nerve-wracking, it's so scary. When you spend the time to catch your tarantulas, you can then enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I used to keep all of my bugs stacked outside of my house. My house is evolving. I definitely go with cozy vibes. I have many, many of these pieces of furniture still in my house today. It's nice to see what it used to look like and know that it still kind of looks like this now. All right, so this must have been, I'm a little confused because I don't know the little squirrel in the back. I don't remember him ever living here. Maybe he was at my campsite. But I love this picture because it shows all of my villagers. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I don't know what this picture is at all, but I'm very confused about the little squirrel in the back, and I'm going to say he was a camper because he's never lived on my island. This is when I fulfilled my lifelong dream of becoming a cat. I then became a skeleton and also fulfilled a lifelong dream. Ah yes, happy skeleton girl dancing around in my vast wall of speeders. This is when I opened my very first outside coffee shop cafe. Originally, I had made a section of my island that was modeled after the Gardens of Versailles. So I have a fountain and I have orange trees all through there. And then as things grew and I started doing more terraforming, that area has gotten smaller quite a bit, but now it's just one little square and I'm going to hold on to it because I loved how it originally looked. Like any good Animal Crossing player, you get your friends to play too. So this is one of my best friends. She saw how excited I got about this game, and she ordered it too. And it basically gave us something to do together, and she still plays with me to this day. I got a real bed. I got a real bed and I customized it to a blanket that I made. I made that. Here's me and Stinky just sitting. I love when the villagers are doing something in the square. I think it's super cute. And it's so bizarre to see my island behind resident services now is where all my shops are. So it's so eerie to see like nothing behind it. Wow, this picture, I did not recognize where I was. The only reason I know that this is my island is just by looking at the map in the bottom corner. Yeah, so originally I had a pool area and I totally forgot that my island looked like this. This is crazy. Wedding season. And that's coming up actually. I wonder if they're going to have different items and do something a little bit differently or if they're going to have the same items as they had last year for this event because this was a lot of fun. As you can see there's lots and lots of opportunities to take pictures. There's so many cuz you went every single day. It was really fun to like come up with these different scenarios and the wallpapers for this, the cathedral wallpaper in particular. And then you would unlock different things based off of the scenario that they wanted. So this was kind of like an outdoor wedding. I wish that I recorded videos back then because I would have totally loved to every day do a different wedding speed build. I liked using a lot of candles, so a lot of my photos are at dark because I would line the whole thing up with candles and it looked so pretty. And I love that I just showed up in like a Hawaiian shirt and everybody else dressed really fancy. This is when I completed my museum, and I feel like I completed my museum pretty early on in the game. I still haven't completed the fish, I still haven't completed the bugs. So I loved Marina, and one of the reasons why I loved her so much was because she was so random. There would be many times I would come over and she would just be sitting on the toilet, and I always thought it was so funny. And I know that the villagers don't know it's a toilet and they just treat it like a chair. Another thing that she asked me for one time was a grill that I was carrying around, and I thought it was so funny that she had this really cute pink house, and then she'd just have this barbecue in the middle of her room. So I just thought she was so random, and that's kind of why I loved her a lot. This is my fake lavender farm. I saw someone online do a lavender farm and I thought it was the cutest thing and wanted it so badly. I didn't have lavender hyacinths yet, so I was going to make it work. I gave Jeremiah this baby outfit and it's literally the cutest thing in the whole wide world. If I'm wearing this cat outfit, this is probably also around the time that I started my channel. Stinky eating a lollipop is so wholesome. I think this is the thumbnail for one of my first build videos. I think at this point I had only done a couple island tours of my own island and maybe just like some chores. I don't know. Like this makes me happy because I've put out like 40 videos now and I know that it takes a lot of practice, so this was one of my very first practices. Here's Miss Flo. Her sitting there eating a donut is such a mood. This was actually the turning point in Flo and I's relationship. If you have watched my videos, you'll know that Flo has been kind of like my arch nemesis for absolutely no reason at all. But the day that she sat here eating a donut by the river, I knew that she was a good little penguin, and we became friends after that. This was when I was building my money tree trail, and I didn't realize that this wouldn't work, but I was getting prepared for mushroom season, and the mushrooms only grow next to hardwoods, and I was hoping that money trees would count as hardwoods, but they don't. I destroyed all this and put fruit trees. I seem very excited to be in this outfit, and now that I'm seeing it, I can understand why. Here's Jeremiah being just a perfect little guy sitting in the blue and purple flowers having a picnic. This was a villager hunt. This is when we found Weber. Come to think of it, I think that this was my first villager hunt that I recorded. At a certain point, I learned about decorating with different music players throughout the island because I really liked hearing the different music play through the different areas of my island. So I was like theming them all based off of or where you would be. But currently they all just play stale cupcakes instead. So there's that. Miss Bianca sitting next to what is now my lake. So it's really nice to see Patty walking around. I'm a little sad that Patty's moving on because she was one of my very first villagers. But this is about Miss Bianca. Look at her little toe beans. I always loved how sad Weber looked. He just always seemed so unamused, and I always would like try to sit with him and take pictures. I moved my outdoor cafe. So originally it was in one little space. And so then I built kind of like a lake, like a small lake, more like a pond. It's a pond. I built a pond, but it's big enough to have a bridge. Anyway, I built my cafe around it. Here's a better shot of it. So this is my little lake and my coffee shop. Bianca's house is here, and that area behind it now is actually built up. I've terraformed up there, and that's where I have my forced perspective little neighborhood. This build was kind of short lived, so I had moved Able Sisters and my Nook's Cranny behind resident services, and I had terraformed up behind it so it would be on a second level. And I thought that having a pastry shop up there would be super cute. However, I figured it would make better sense to be near Meringue. This is or was my money tree forest, and mentioned earlier that this all gets chopped down because it doesn't generate mushrooms the way I thought it would. And now this is all fruit trees. I totally forgot that Eric was a campsite villager. Eric showed up one day and I was very excited because this is right before winter and I thought it would be super cute if I could have a little deer running around for winter time in the snow. So I asked Eric to move in, and sadly, that meant Marina was going to move out. I made the sacrifice to let her go We definitely can't forget Miss Celeste and how absolutely cute she is. Celeste by far is one of my favorites just because she's from like the older games and it makes me think of the museum and all the fun that I had with the museum. It also kind of makes me a little sad because I think of Brewster. This is just a really adorable picture of Weber. Weber is basically the same size as the hyacinths. This was probably one of my favorite pictures of Weber. I thought he was so cute, just kind of sitting next to the lake. Again, he always looks so solemn, like he wants to go in the lake, but he can't swim or something like that. But I think he's just enjoying a soda. Miss Bianca coming back in strong with those little toe beans. Any opportunity that I would get to take a picture of her feet, I totally would. One of my favorite things about Eric is that he always looks so amazed. This is another area of my island that I am really proud of, and I love this stone pattern that makes trails. I use this all over my island. This is just Eric being a little cutie, and I don't know, there's something about this little guy who he's just so cute and he seems like he's in his own little world. Back to doing my search of toe beans. I got Leopold's toe beans. They are very cute as well, but he's also one of my favorite villagers. He's our island professor. He's very smart. Here's another speed build that I did. This time it was for Eric's house. This was a big day for me. This is when I did my very first Dream Address tour. Not only filming it, this was like the very first one I'd ever done, ever. And I was so excited to do this and I was so nervous. But yeah, this was my very first island tour. This was Callisto and I loved this island. I can't say enough good things about this island and looking at these pictures again just makes me super excited that I get to go here and experience it and take my own photos of Callisto because it's just beautiful. This picture was my favorite one because I loved how she layered everything up. She's just so talented, and this is just absolutely beautiful. Then we started to get the mushroom stuff. It was all downhill from there for me with this set because I was obsessed. I really loved this event too because of it was stressful because you kind of had to plan ahead if you wanted to do it like really well. So I always like to prepare myself for these types of events and have my ingredients on hand. But this was so fun. This was another island tour that I took, and this island was also very beautiful. I loved how it was in like the afternoon, so the sky was orange, everything was very beautiful. Ah, the snow boys. I think I made 4 of them correctly, and the rest of them were all incorrect. So then, like any other good friend, you convince your friend's husband to buy her the game for her birthday, and then you get her to play with you as well. Ah, yeah, speaking of snow boys, here are all of my failed attempts. This was the villager hunt where I was able to get my grumpy villager. As Christmas got closer and closer, I just started dressing like a reindeer and this is what 2 deers do together. They just go on walks. This is when I started putting together my forced perspective dollhouse village. And I think it looks super cute at night when it's like all lit up. It looks like there's houses in the distance. And then we had Toy Day. Toy Day was fun. I really liked running around and giving gifts and getting gifts. This monstrosity was a complete accident. It's just par for the course of what it was like for me to make Snowboys. This was another really exciting island tour. This tour was an island that was completely made to be an airport, and it was spectacular. This is the best photo that I think that I've to date ever taken. I think this was the only time I've ever seen them do a bonfire, and I really thought this was so cute that they were just sitting around the bonfire and I see the little snow boy creeping out from the left side, so that's a little creepy. But these little guys are super precious. And I moved the bakery. This is when I moved the bakery to Meringue's yard. I really like how this turned out. It's very cluttery for sure. It's a little hard to walk through right now the way it is. I might change it again eventually. I decided one day just to watch Gulliver sleep, and that was a good decision. And here's my friend Shannon and I enjoying the Aurora Borealis with our maracas. And then our other friend showed up and we just shook our maracas. And this is when we traveled to Wicker Island. Wicker Island was a beautiful island, and this was where I was really admiring their use of layering items and forced perspective. This was when I learned that you could have Isabel dance with you. So if you haven't had Isabel dance with you, go in to resident services and have her dance with you. It's so cute. And here's where we did one of our last builds was where we moved the seamstress area next to the Able sisters, and I love how this came out. I feel like my skills in decorating are starting to get a little bit better. And here is my cute little strawberry farm. So I wanted to put a little farm outside of Wendy's house. And here's my strawberry farm now updated with now it's a watermelon farm. And I think it looks very cute, especially since Wendy wears a watermelon t-shirt. And this is the last dream address that we went to. We went to Provenance, and the creator Kevin is super talented. Again, completely gorgeous landscaping here. And also, there was more fun surprises in the house. And that brings us to now. We are on Bunny Day week, so we are coming full circle. We are also going into cherry blossom season. That's exciting. I hope that you enjoyed going down memory lane with me. This was a lot of fun. And I want to do this again next year. I want to see how things change and they grow. It's crazy to think that we started from a tent. But yeah, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. How long have you been playing? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you again for subscribing. Thank you again for all the support. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.